Thank you, Steve. So many people say, "Oh, I don't know anything about numerology. I don't know anything about that. I don't understand the numbers." I'm Britt, and I've got your number. I'm here to make this clear for you. We're entering April. April is about the number 4. You know, there's 4 sides to a box or a square. 4 can be very rigid, stable, practical, hardworking, and humble. If your birth month is 4, you can find yourself loving order and steps. So much so that sometimes you can have an overly structured nature, and sometimes you try to control others or the world around you because you love this step, stage, order, control, and form. It might be in their best interest, but you know what? Don't even bother, because they only wind up resenting you unless they like that kind of structure and control. So April birthday, you have a wonderful way of being a hard worker. You can be very practical, conservative, and very precise. But it's just this structure and form thing that you could trip over, so to speak. 4 really knows all about the weak points, and they really strive to make things very strong. How could we, if we weren't 4s, be more 4-like? How could we be more balanced? 4 also has a wonderful effect on a busy mind. Often, we think so many thoughts per day, actually thousands and thousands of thoughts, maybe 60,000. The first thought patterns are negative or critical. The second are full of future fantasy or wild expectations, or really just pure outrageous, not considering defeat. 4 puts things in balance after the mind has done that. So for today's exercise, why don't we do this? Look at the day you were born, not the month, the actual day. If you're May 1st, it's 1. If you're June 13th, it's 13. Any number that is higher than 11, you need to add these 2 together. Let me repeat that. Any birthday that is higher than 11, you need to add those 2 together. If your birthday was 22, April 22nd, 2 and 2 would make 4. How could we be stronger? How could we be more balanced? How could we be more 4-like? Start with 1. 1 has a tendency to just be very stubborn and very rigid and really having a hard time letting others in to see another viewpoint other than their own. They're known to have this type of never-ending situation, which could kind of trip them up. They really need others in their life, but they need to really listen to other people. 2, if your birthday is a 2, you're a soul of 2, you're halfway there. But you can have blinders when it comes to over-attachment to people that you've made commitments to. Some of them might not be worthy of this, and that would really trip you up. 3 needs to stop being afraid. Sometimes you have these tendencies to be so fearful, and they don't create a lot of balance for you. 4, if you are an April 4 or an April 22, you've got a double, a double 4. So you would just have a tendency to just plain old argue way too much. 5, you would need to stick to a plan. Sometimes that's hard for you. Sometimes patience is hard. 6 needs to let go of this always doing too many things for others that never creates the balance, and it really trips them up. For them, it's always about do for you and do less for others, because you're always going to overcompensate in that area. 7 needs to find music and being alone, and also independent study. Also being very uplifting always to others, finding ways to make the human spirit lift. 8 needs to always get to breath, aerobics, because you're very lively on your own. Get away from any stimulants because they make you trip. 9 needs to let go of some of their intensity or sometimes their overreaction. Sometimes they take in too much, and this could be a situation which would put them out of balance. 10 needs to connect to stability by taking steps because they really like their honors and awards and their diplomas. So 10 integrates 4 very well because they always reach for the stars if you happen to be a birthday of 10. 11 can be in touch with this by bringing a spiritual message to the world, but put it in plan, put it in motion. See, the world right now is rapidly changing. Many have had heart shocks. Many people, 4 is the number of the heart, have had heart issues. Let's have a good April. Let's connect deep to ourselves. Let's connect to others, and let's ground ourselves. Many things are going to come out in the world. You could be a little bit shocked. Britt's got your number. Britt's got your number at Gmail. Find me on Facebook, Britt's got your number page. Remember, it's always about the numbers.